Eagles Entertainment.
We welcome you, Eagles everywhere, to the Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro at the NovaCare Complex. And we are, still digesting quite a Monday for the Philadelphia Eagles. We've got a lot to get to in this podcast, just a lot of great stuff. And we're going to begin with just a little bit of a conversation about the Eagles' big trade. Howie Roseman, does he really ever surprise you anymore? It's hard to be surprised because we always expect Howie to be up for something. And he was up for this one because the Eagles made a big deal on Monday. Philadelphia dealing with the New Orleans Saints, agreeing to make this trade. Philadelphia sending the number 16 pick, the number 19 pick, and the number 194 pick in the 6th round, all from the 2022 draft, to the Saints. The Eagles get back the number 18 pick in this year's draft, as well as a 3rd round pick, number 101 overall, a 7th round pick, number 237 overall, all in this draft, as well as the Saints 2023 1st round draft pick and a 2nd round pick from the Saints in 2024. It was a bombshell announcement. The Eagles still have 10 draft picks, including 2 in the 1st round, 5 in the first 3 rounds, 9 in the first 5 rounds of this draft. So, before we get to our interview with the newest Philadelphia Eagle, linebacker Kyzir White, and we hear from Anthony Harris, who returns to the Eagles after testing free agency, and we give you a very special extra point today, I'm going to bring in Adam Caplan, who, of course, NFL insider, Inside the Birds podcast, SiriusXM NFL radio, a voice of reason, a voice of knowledge, and somebody who's going to give his perspective on the Eagles trade.
Let's talk about what the Eagles have done with the New Orleans Saints on Monday, agreeing to trade with the Saints and shake up the 1st round of the NFL draft. Let's talk to a guy who knows everything that's happening with the Philadelphia Eagles, great NFL insider, Adam Caplan. He's Inside the Birds podcast, rocking and rolling and really entertaining. You and Jeff Mosher do a great job, Adam. Thank you so much for joining me and for talking about this deal. How are you, first of all? And number 2, what do you make of the trade from an Eagles perspective?
Dave, I'm well. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. So, look, Howie Roseman, the Eagles GM, is, as we know, very aggressive. And obviously the Saints have their interest in mind, what they want to do and why they wanted to acquire that extra first-round pick. And they'll be able to do that. They have their own needs, and the Eagles still, through this trade, will have that first of the 3 first-rounders. They have that 15. Yes, they gave up one of them, but they have the 15th pick overall in the 1st round. They still have 10 total picks in this draft. A lot of maneuverability with the 5 picks that they've got pretty early. So it sets up pretty well for them.
So if you really kind of cancel it out, in one way, look, the Eagles still have 2 first-round picks this year. They have 2 in 2023. It would appear that the Eagles traded a number 1 for a 1, 2, and 3. I mean, that's kind of the way I break it down. Do you agree with that kind of perspective, that if you look at it that way, I mean, that's an accurate way to look at things when you cancel out all the other picks?
Yeah, and I've seen that out there in the social media sphere. I get it. Getting not only a first for next year is having extra picks in the future and what we call premium picks for the future that really helps you. Yeah, look, that's, to me, it's why the belief around the league is it was a no-brainer from an Eagles perspective. I do wonder, because I know how these trades work. Teams, all 32 teams talk, Dave, to each other during draft season. They are called trade calls that a lot of it's like, hey, if we're on the clock and our guy's off the clock is picked, we'll look to trade out. You have these scenarios worked out. This one's different in that the Saints clearly knew they wanted an extra pick. The Eagles had set a price for what they would be willing to do, and you had a match. And Mickey Loomis is the GM of the Saints, and obviously Howie Roseman for the Eagles got this job done.
So, Adam, the 3rd round, Eagles, getting back that 3rd rounder this year, as you said, still 10 picks. How deep is this draft? Like, how much value does the NFL right now place on picks in those 2nd, 3rd rounds?
Here's what I know in terms of value by position. Receiver is not super deep in what we call hot, super elite guys. There are a ton of very good receivers for this draft. Probably, sometimes this is a little bit overrated, but I do believe in this draft from talking to receivers coaches around the league. I think it's true. I do believe you can get a starter late second, early third round. I think those are the type of guys in this draft. Wide receiver is very, very deep. Tight end, very, very deep. DN, good depth there. Corner, safety. We actually we have a show coming with Greg Cosell, and we break down the safety and cornerback group very, very deep. Certain positions not as deep, but this is a good year. By the way, you know, I'm not going to back off what I've said and reported for months. This is not a good year to need a quarterback. It's a good year to have a lot of picks because so many positions, Dave. It's funny you bring this up. So many positions are very deep this season.
Adam, what do you think is going through Howie Roseman's mind right now? I mean, it's still early. We're 3 weeks away from the draft. A lot can happen. We all know that he likes to wheel and deal.
Yeah, I would say maneuverability. You know, I would not rule out a trade up for whatever position they feel is a need. If a guy, you know, their first pick is at 15, if, you know, let's say the corner from LSU Stingley gets anywhere near there, you saw what they did last year, Dave, would be a good example. Based on their board, Devontae Smith was getting close. So they said, you know what, let's go get him, and they got him. And I would say that was a good move. He's off to a great start, and that's what you have to do. And we remember also the trade they had with the Dolphins just around this time last year, just a little bit before, late March. They also had the trade, we know, in 2017 with Cleveland. We also know in 2018 during the draft where they made the trade with the Ravens. The Eagles got Dallas Goedert. The Ravens were able to get Lamar Jackson. Both teams pretty happy with those two moves. So Howie Roseman's history of making these trades with picks, I would have to argue that it's been pretty good so far.
And Adam, finally, this was all set up, of course, by trading Carson Wentz to Indianapolis last year, then making the deal with Miami. It's interesting how it all connects, right? Like Howie really seems to use his draft capital so very well.
Yeah, that's one of, you know, if you graded Howie on strengths and weaknesses in his role as a general manager in 12 or 13 years, his ability, and I know that, you know, sometimes teams use analytics, believe it or not, for the draft, in terms of what's your percentage hit rate if you have these amount of picks, or if you pick in this area. But the great thing, the way he set this up is, you know, we mentioned there are 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. If there's a player they want to go and get, they're going to be able to do that. And the great thing is, they have these extra picks, as you set it up very well, Dave, earlier here. They've got the extra 2 and 3 in future years, not just an extra first-rounder. So it's just set up pretty well for them. And knowing the way that Howie works, it would not surprise me at all if he winds up making another trade, either leading up or during the draft. Again, how the board bounces to him.
Well, we've got a lot of time to find out, Adam Caplan. Thank you so much. I think your reaction is pretty much what I've seen. Everybody, I guess, and you, tell me if I'm wrong, gives the Eagles a thumbs up for this deal.
I do. And I know people say, oh, well, you know, you're from Philly, you're biased. I'm really not. I cover 32 teams. You've known me for, I don't know how many, 25 years. You know when I don't agree with something the Eagles have done, I don't hide it. But this, to me, is such a no-brainer. When it happened, my reaction was like, wait a minute. Don't the Eagles have to give up a couple players in this to make it even? So, look, now I'd love to know by the draft value chart. I haven't seen it out there what this equates to. But the bottom line is, to me, overall, the Eagles did very well here.
And so we're still 3 weeks and a day or so away from the 2022 NFL Draft. Does Howie have anything else up his sleeve? Well, stay tuned to PhiladelphiaEagles.com, our social media channels, and right here on the Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group, as well as our Eagles Update Podcast. We will have all of the news for you because we're on the edge of our seats just like you are. I just think that Howie is so aggressive, so confident, and certainly has made a series of trades here in the last 13 months or so that have really built up the Eagles draft capital. A playoff roster from 2021 is only going to get better. And one player who makes it better is an unrestricted free agent by the name of Kyzir White, a former starter with the Chargers at the linebacker position, weak side linebacker, played inside when they were in 3-4. A product of West Virginia, a 4th-round draft pick in 2018. From Macungie, PA, Emmaus High School. He attended training camps. He's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. He also comes from a long line of athletes in the White family. And he stopped by the studio when he visited the NovaCare complex on Tuesday for an exclusive one-on-one interview. Hello, Eagles everywhere, and welcome. I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro, joined by the newest Philadelphia Eagle linebacker, Kyzir White, joins us. Lifelong Eagles fan. You were there for the good times and not so good times, the ups and downs. Now you are a member of the team. And I wonder if you can put that into words. Like, what was it like for you here, walking around, seeing the Lombardi Trophy? Man, you are now part of it.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy how life works. Like, growing up, this is the closest team to me. So, we always watching the Eagles growing up, the McNabb era, Brian Westbrook era, Vic, Deshaun Jackson, Shady McCoy, all those guys, going to see them play at Lehigh. And, me and my brothers, we always said, man, we want to throw on that, Eagles uniform one day. And it's crazy how life, comes full circle. So just being here, it feels so real, and I'm just blessed, man, truly blessed.
Kyzir, when you were a kid, I know that 2 of your brothers, NFL players also. You're the youngest son of seven siblings, right?
7 siblings, yeah.
How crazy competitive was it there? Not only to get something on the dinner table before everybody else ate it,
man.
But when you were playing sports, did they really just beat you down?
Listen, man, we don't hold no punches. It really started with my dad because, he's probably the most competitive out of all of us. And, even if we playing video games, football, basketball, he beating up on us and talking trash because, that's how life gonna treat you. It's gonna be tough. So, he was hard on us in that aspect. And then, with me being the youngest boy, I had to learn from my big brothers. I had to take my bumps and bruises in order to be here where I am today. And, I wouldn't be here without those guys. They told me, everything I know.
Do you think you understood it, what your dad was trying to get to when you were a kid?
Yeah, because he would explain it to us. Like, look, man, you're gonna go out in the real world. It's not always going to be, sunshine. It's going to be, some bad days. You're going to go through the storm. You got to learn how to weather the storm. So, I'm going to beat up on you and have some fun doing it, in a fun manner, And then, it just built our confidence up where, we feel like we could, persevere through anything,
You've talked about it, Kyzir, how you were a small kid growing up and you were a fast guy and a running back. And, did that help you understand that once you grew into your body, just what you could accomplish on the football field?
Yeah, man, it was crazy. My whole life, I've always been one of the smallest guys on the team. Like, my freshman year in high school, I was only 5'5", real light, and then I just started progressively getting bigger. And, I feel like I still had that same little man, complex when I was playing receiver in high school. I was just using my athleticism. And, when I played corner, safety, and linebacker, it was already in me where it was an easy transition, So.
Emmaus High School.
Yeah.
Then Lackawanna.
Yeah.
Why Lackawanna?
Man, I didn't take school that serious, man. My grades, I was slipping with my grades, but going to Lackawanna was the best thing for me. I think that's the number one, JUCO in the country. And, I got a lot of offers that I maybe wouldn't have got coming out of high school. And I don't even think I was mature enough to go straight to a Division I college coming out of high school. So I feel like Lackawanna really prepared me for the next level going to West Virginia. And, they gave me an opportunity to go see California for the first time when USC sent me off. Offer, so I can't thank them enough.
Was there a point where you thought, hey, my brother Kevin, his first-round pick, maybe I could be an NFL player? Was there a moment, whether it was Lackawanna, West Virginia?
Yeah, my whole life I just told myself that. I know it might have sounded crazy to a lot of people hearing, I'm gonna play in the NFL one day. The percentage is real low, but man, I'm all about speaking things into existence, and that's what me and my 2 other brothers did. Just, we're gonna be three brothers, the White brothers, and we all gonna be on the NFL one day. And that's what happened. Kev just so happened to go first round, and being in the green room with him is like, damn. I look at Kev as that's like an idol of mine. Him, my dad, my brothers, and just to be there sitting with him, it gave me all the hope and passion in the world. Like, look, I'm gonna follow up. You got us through the door. Now it's my turn to follow right behind you.
Tell me that green room experience. What was it like hearing your brother's name?
Man, it was great. Just, when he got drafted, that day was better than the day I got drafted, to be honest. I felt like I was getting drafted with him, just seeing him walk across the stage, had tears in my eyes because he'd been through so much. That's one of the strongest people I ever knew. He went junior college as well. he was going to give up football before he went to junior college. Just to see him change my family's life. He put my parents up in a mansion and right up the road. So, man, he's a great guy, all about family. And just to see him do that, it's like, I wanted that feeling, and I want to support my family as well.
So let's take us to your draft day, 2018.
Yeah.
Coming out of West Virginia, 4th round.
Yeah.
The Chargers call your name. Big party you were having?
Nah, man. Actually, I had a few family members over there, but I thought I was gonna go a little earlier. I didn't, so I was kind of upset. I feel like I should have went earlier. But man, I was happy to be in California. For the first time. That was my second time out there, and it was great. I'm thankful for the Chargers. They gave me an opportunity to put my foot in the door and get recognized and play the linebacker position at a high level. So I can't thank them enough, man. It was a great day for me, and yeah, your
career is really interesting. It's been like step by step, nothing ever given to you.
Yeah.
Why have you been successful?
I think my mindset, man. Like, this is all I know right here, football. I wanted to do this my whole life, and I don't want to be one of them guys that take it for granted. I know you see those stories all the time. I should have did this, should have did that. I just want to do everything the right way, and if it doesn't work, at least I can say I put my all into it. And yeah, man, just my mindset, man.
Hey, back when you were an Eagles fan, as a kid, you were looking at trot and you were looking at these linebackers. The game has changed for linebackers.
Yeah.
So your skill set, you think, fits into today's
for sure
the idea of what a linebacker has to be, and what does a linebacker have to be?
It's a pass-happy league, so they looking for former safeties who on a bigger side that could come down into the box, stop the run, but also defend a pass, and could run. And I feel like that's everything that I am. So. Back in the day, like you said, with Trotter and those guys, they were way bigger guys, but it's just a different game in today's day and age. So
what's next for you here? You've done the tour of the NovaCare. You've seen the Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah.
Chills up and down the spine a little bit?
Man, chills. Okay. Seeing all this give me chills. Just right when I pulled up and seen the NovaCare, got chills instantly, man.
I love it. And so what do you want to do here before the program begins, the off-season program begins? Like, do you want to settle in? You're going to stay at home? Do your parents have you up at your house? Up in
yeah, I'm looking to find a spot.
Makunji, your old bedroom? You're going to go live up in your old bedroom?
Yeah, I might, man. I might do that, but that's a little drive. It's about an hour away, so I'm looking to find something around this area and get settled in before OTAs and everything like that. So it's a smooth transition.
It's interesting. I was watching an interview with you back last year in LA and in California, and there was a question about Philadelphia cheesesteaks or Philadelphia food versus.
And I said Philly, right?
And you said D'Alessandro's.
For
I was like, this guy's legit.
Yeah, for sure.
So, have you spent a lot of time in Philly?
Yeah, for sure. One of my closest friends, he's from Philly, like the Kensington area, and we'll come up here, visit him. He'll take us to all the food spots. D'Alessandro's is one of them. And, when I had that for the first time, I'm hooked.
It's a great culture. Like, for you to come back to a culture
for sure.
A sports culture, a good thing for you, right?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, man. I feel right at home. Like, everybody is very similar. It's a hard, gritty city, hard workers, blue collar. So I love it, man. I feel like that's everything I am.
And for those Eagles fans who don't really know your game, what are they going to see?
You're going to see a very passionate player. You're going to see a player that, plays hard every snap, plays with a lot of grit, plays with a lot of pursuit, instincts. And, I'm just a team guy first, team player first. And, I'm going to just put my heart and soul into everything I do.
Have you hugged your parents and said thank you for raising you the way you raised me?
For sure, man. For sure. I can't thank them enough. There's nothing I can do that, could show my appreciation for them. I wouldn't be here without them. So, I'm honestly blessed to have parents that I got.
Look at that great smile. You're happy to be in Philadelphia.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man.
Kyzir, nice to meet you.
Thank you, man. Nice to meet you as well. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for coming by.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Kyzir White, the newest Philadelphia Eagle.
So we welcome in Kyzir White, and we welcome back Eagles safety Anthony Harris. You remember he came to the Eagles last year on a one-year deal after some time with the Minnesota Vikings, an outstanding career there. Harris played well in 2021 as the Eagles defense got better and better and better, and in fact led the way to the Eagles' playoff spot in head coach Nick Sirianni's first year. Harris returns to the Eagles on a one-year contract, and we spoke on the telephone recently about his return to the Eagles defense.
Anthony, welcome back. First of all, what is the feeling coming back year number 2 for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Feels good. Excited to be coming back to Philly. Had a great time there last year. Just building with all the guys in the locker room, getting to know the city, and playing ball. So I'm excited, taking what I've learned from last season with being in the system, being in the locker room, knowing the guys, and just, getting familiar with the defense. I'm excited for what's coming up next this season.
What are some of the things you learned about the defense and where you all can go in year two?
Yeah, I think, part of the key to being successful is just, familiarity, really getting to know our style of play, how we want to play, how we want to dictate the game, how offenses are going to attack us, knowing guys around you. But I think also, most importantly, just understanding, yourself and how you fit in, what complements you well, what you do well in the system, what's things that you can improve on, and then just, taking that and making adjustments. So I'm excited coming in last year, not really sure exactly what to expect, like much of the fan base. But, coming in there, it was fun, going out there, being on the field. And now it's just about, taking how it was used last year and then, just adjusting to tailor my game so it can be even better.
It seemed like there was a period, or at least the conversation was, that you were going to help kind of teach everybody at least a little bit of what Jonathan was thinking. Is that what you did kind of in, the limited time you were on the field in spring and in training camp, that part of your responsibility was getting guys up to speed with some of the ideas that Jonathan had, since you had some experience with him?
Well, I think that was, part of my role and experience. Playing a lot of ball is just, helping guys around you continue to grow, continue to develop, and understand the new scheme. But I think also part of it was just, being around the league a while, playing a lot of ball, just being able to come in and adjust to whatever was being asked. So I think that was kind of just like the dual role of many veterans, just coming in, expected to pick up the system fast, and be able to find success quickly with just the experience of playing ball and the talent you have. And also, as long as this expectation of, bringing guys along, and just trying to show guys, how to do things in terms of working, and being a professional.
Anthony, what's it like? You get a guy like Hassan Reddick. He's got the pedigree, the production. What do you think that means for the defense, having somebody like that on the team now?
Yeah, I think you want to try to fill the roster, with as much explosive players as you can, at all the positions. So I think seeing a guy like that who's had a large number of production over his course of his career, from rushing the passer to, defending the edge in the run game, and just the impact that a player like that can have is always exciting. And you want to try to, get as many guys like that as possible. So I'm excited to, get there, get to work with him, getting to know him as a person, as a player, and then, just seeing, how we can continue to build on the foundation and create a winning environment and do positive things.
And then, Anthony, I wondered, the way that the season turned around last year, you get into the playoffs, great experience. Do you believe that kind of stuff can carry over for a football team into the next year?
Yeah, I think it's about, setting a good foundation, and that's setting the standard of what's expected, as part of being in the organization, from a coach's standpoint to player standpoint to building that relationship, to continue to, bring in pieces, whether that's through coaches or players, to continue to stack on that and kind of, picking up with that same mentality and not being complacent on, where you are and what you're trying to do, and just trying to continue to strive forward. So I think that's the expectation. Last year wasn't really expected for us to really do anything. I'm not sure what that was, but in terms of from a player standpoint and in the locker room, we pushed to win. So regardless of what the roster looks like, it's about taking what you have and finding a way to get that result, and then continue to build on top of that.
What's your off season like, Anthony? What are your priorities for the off season?
My priorities have just been, just working on myself, working on my game. Took some really a good time to evaluate, myself, how I felt last year, and compared to other years, how I felt like I performed, the talent that I still have, and really trying to maximize that, mapping out my off season. So it's been a fun one. I've been down here in South Florida training very hard. Last year I wanted to come in and be a presence from, a leadership standpoint, but a physical presence as well. Try to, really bring a physical presence in the run game down in the line of scrimmage where I played. But this year I'm looking to, get back to probably what people a little bit more used to me playing, a little bit more rangy, a little bit more out of space and making plays. So that's been my focus this off season is just, now that I've kind of established myself with that presence and just being on the field, now it's just about, working on my movement, continuing to get back to my flexibility where I can continue to do the things that I know I can do.
Anthony, thanks so much for your time. I look forward to seeing you back at NovaCare.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, man. Take care.
You too.
And for this episode's extra points, a little bit of fun. Jordan Mailata trying to fool the world, and he pulled it off until his mask was pulled off. The television show The Masked Singer featured a 6'8", 360-pound man who Eagles fans, as I've learned, had a blog going. One fan asked Jordan at an event we had recently at the Fox Bet Lounge if he was the Masked Singer. Thingamabob. We didn't know for sure until the announcement on national television.
NFL star, Philadelphia Eagle, Jordan Mailata. Oh, I was wrong. My man, who knew that you had those type of skills? Jordan Mailata from the Eagles.
Jordan!
Hi. Hi.
So Thingamabob is Jordan Mailata, and we love him. And so I had some fun with him recently at the Eagles Huddle Up for Autism drive-in and drive-through event, asking Jordan how it all came about in this episode's Extra Point.
Jordan, obviously you appealed to a different audience. It was kind of cool, like the whole Masked Singer thing. How did it start? Like, how much fun did you have? Tell me the whole story.
Basically, my agent approached me last year, right around the Pro Bowl voting time, and told me that I had this opportunity. And I was like, "What is it?" And he told me it was a Masked Singer. That they want me on the show, and I was like, "Cool, that's great." I was really excited, but at the same time, I was so tunnel vision about the season. I just did, all I wanted to focus on was the season. And so then basically just went from, I just told him hey, listen, I plan on playing in February. So that's going to be my number one. If we don't reach February, then, obviously if we had time to do it, I'll do it. So yeah, the season played out how it did. And at first I kind of didn't want to do it just because, I get emotional when I play, and when we lost, it was just kind of damn, this is it. But my missus did a good job of, just making sure that I took advantage of this opportunity with the Masked Singer that, at the end of the season, I was like, okay, let's do it. We're doing it.
So where did you go? Did you tape it every week? How did it work? And how did you come up with Thingamabob?
I didn't come up with anything. They came up with all of it. And so I just kind of yes. I was just like a yes man. I shot it out in L.A. And then you stayed out there just under a month. Just shot everything there. So
cool experience?
It's a great experience, Dave. It was just one of a kind just to meet everybody behind the scenes that make the production work, the TV show what it is. And everyone knows the four judges and the host. But for me, the most important part was just seeing everybody, meeting everybody behind this stage and behind the cameras. It was awesome.
And you appealed to a totally new audience, which, have you gotten a lot of feedback from that?
Yeah, I've got a lot of feedback that I should be singing and create a new album. So we'll see how we go with that one.
And then, Eagles fans think you got robbed. Do you feel like you got robbed?
Thingamabob got thingamarobbed.
I love it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, brother.
And that will do it for this episode of the Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. I want to thank Ray Doyle. I want to thank Peter Kelly. I want to thank all of you for joining in each and every episode. If you have a moment to give us a little review, Keep them coming. We've got great, great stuff for you as we close in on the 2022 NFL Draft. The Eagles with 10 picks, 2 first-rounders, playing from a position of strength and power. This team has built up a lot of draft capital. 2 first-round picks this year, 2 first-round picks next year. That extra third this year really will come in handy. I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro. Thanks for joining me here on the Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. Everyone have yourselves a great Eagles day. Fly, Eagles, fly, and go Birds!